Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Kirk Smallage. I'm Chair for the Douglas Library Board of Trustees. This is the regular meeting for Monday, July 14th, 2025. And at 7 p.m., we'll call this meeting to order. If you would, we'll all rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So the next will be public comments. This section of the agenda is reserved for people in attendance who wish to briefly address the board. We'd ask that comments be limited to around 2 minutes or so. Beth, would you like to address the board? Sure.
I've lived in Hebron. I raised our children here. Both my husband and I have been really active in sports, the youth lacrosse league and the high school lacrosse program. I was the president of the PTA, worked at volunteered at the Hebron Center Nursing School, have done a lot of stuff. And now I'm interested in kind of the library is the next spot to be interested in. It sort of is the right phase of my life to hopefully join you. And
Any members of the board have questions they'd like to ask?
Beth, what's your last name?
that's true.
Thank you. I want to make sure our board clerk knows.
That's a question.
Beth, the only question I would have is there is no conflict between your position serving as the registrar and serving on the board of trustees. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. I'm not sure that I'm experienced enough to offer the steps. Are you already familiar with what it will take to move to that point of? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gives you a sense of what we're doing. I think that's really what the idea is, to make sure you're really interested in that. Yeah.
I think that
Okay.
Yeah.
So, someone want to help out? Is it a letter to Andy?
I've
Okay.
been through this, so yeah, so then it would be a letter to the Board of Selectmen, because ultimately they're the ones who like vote on it. So it would be a letter to the Board of Selectmen indicating your interest in the position. You would mark that you attended a meeting on the state, that you've been reading the minutes, and then they should get in touch with you once you submit that for it getting on the minutes at the next selectman meeting. And then they would ask that you come to that. Usually they'll have you do a little, hi, here's who I am, here's my 1 minute pitch to you, and then they vote on it. And it should be relatively simple. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Donna, do you have anything to add? Does that cover pretty much everything? Okay, great. And then,
We welcome you to the boards.
yes, that would be nice to have you join us. That would be, we've known each other for a long time. So, yeah, we have. Well, thank you for that. We'll look forward to your progress. We'll move on to reports then, and we'll begin with the secretary's report.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the Monday, June 9th meeting. Do I get to do that?
Yeah, you can do that. You
I
may.
second it.
The motion is made by Meg and seconded by Dale. And any discussion on the motion, any changes or anything that anybody saw that they'd like to have noted? Hearing none, then I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from June 9th, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, then it's unanimous. We won't need a roll call vote in that case, I assume. Okay, thank you. Anything else that, you want to add? There was something that you put out about a search for, bylaws. Is that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was under, if that was anything else, but yeah, so I didn't know if anyone who I would contact, because I figured as secretary, that would probably be something that I would do, who I would contact to find, would our bylaws for the Board of Trustees be something that the state would have? Like, are we a registered nonprofit? Okay,
Your board of a municipal
gotcha.
library.
Would Andy Tierney have those? Would that be something that would have been filed?
I don't
within a
have-
company?
We don't have bylaw. Or as I know. Probably the board.
It's the ordinance that, yeah,
Governs.
yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
we don't have bylaws as such, not being.
Okay, so we don't have our own individual ones. Okay, that was what I was wondering, so,
Okay.
okay, thank you. Because I do have our, yeah, all right, perfect then. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks for looking into
Yeah.
that, Meg. Okay, we've approved the minutes. Donna, would you like to address the board? Thank you.
I'm starting to wind down. For those of you that might not know, I am retiring on Fox 15. So
Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
right now, we're just working on budget year. Funds that we can spend, projects that we can do. We're winding down a lot of ARPA projects, so you've seen a lot of things going on in town. Nice improvements here on the library, yeah.
Yes, awesome. Mm.
Kirby Town advance is a long time coming and mostly for security reasons, but that transitions.
We had a couple of hiccups here, but we seem to have
Yes.
smooth,
Still seem to keep flowing, but it's signing into things.
signing into the, when I go into the finance portal. It's not happy about that. And I really enjoyed it, kept telling me that my email address was invalid because I was entering .gov.
Right.
Then I would enter .com and it would be like, no, you need to have a .gov address.
Oh, boy.
Are going. Computers, library, city. They were in our storage room, but we'll have all new computers for the children's. A couple of
The staff,
catalog.
the workstations will be
So
upgraded.
that'll be happening.
Wow. Great. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for joining us tonight in person. So will we see you in August or okay? Okay,
think-
great.
Yes.
Right
That's
before, yeah, I think so.
Last.
Well, again, my tenure is short, but I certainly have appreciated your being a part of the evenings that we've done this, so thank you. Okay, good to hear. All right, as chair, I'm going to defer to other areas in the agenda rather than address them now. We'll take them either under new business or other business or whatever. So I don't have anything else to report. And with that, I will turn that over to you as library director.
Trying to remember what I said in my director's report now.
I have one right here. if you want.
So June obviously is summer reading kickoff, so like that only takes one bullet point, but that took hours and hours of work on part of everybody. Getting that organized and getting everything set up and making sure that we had everything we needed and making sure that we had all of the invoices for the people that are doing programs, that the Lions have given us the funding to do. So yeah, June was a bit of a scramble and now we're, had about 30 seconds to breathe and now we're into full swing in summer reading. We currently have about 600 registered. So we're on track to have more than we did last year, which is great. We are very busy. Every day we have multiple events happening. And meanwhile, I'm starting to tackle the annual report to the state, which is also the report to the federal government. So I'm either outside helping, at the desk, helping to deal with the traffic, or in my office muttering about numbers, because that's what I do this time of year. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Okay,
Nice.
thank you for
Unless
that.
Anybody has,
Question?
Oh,
Go ahead, Sue.
I was looking at Richmond Library in Marlboro,
Mhm.
and they used Blackstone Unlimited on their books.
that is a fairly new service. And I looked at it, but they have a very limited selection.
Oh,
Blackstone is where we get our audiobooks, our
Yeah.
books on CD.
Yeah.
So their audiobooks are only those authors that they carry.
oh, that's-
So we're kind of holding off to see where they go in another year or two.
Cause I looked on their site and it said they had over 7,000 titles. Their magazines are not downloadable.
No, and I mean, so 7,000 titles sounds like a lot until you
Right.
bear in mind that Overdrive has like 7 million.
Yeah.
So, they have a fairly limited selection right now. So it's something I'm keeping an eye on. But right now, everything that they have, you can get through the Palace app, you can get through Overdrive. So it doesn't make sense
Okay.
to me to duplicate.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
focus on what has more resources for
Yeah,
the
I
money.
just didn't know if they were.
Yeah, that's very new. They they are fairly expensive, especially for what you get. That's what it boils down to.
Oh,
Like I said, Overdrive has many more things. The Palace app has many more things. Of course, that's state provided, so we don't pay for that.
yeah.
So trying to kind of use resources where we will get the most bang for the buck.
And there's no limit as to what each patron can take out.
No, not on Blackstone Audio. There is a limit. Well, every funding model is a little bit different, but so for us, it would be if more than a certain number of people, as I understand it, if more than a certain number of people checked something out, we would pay more. Would basically work to like having to buy extra copies. Which is also actually how Overdrive does a lot of things that,
Okay.
a book, I can check it out to 700 people
Yeah.
for the same cost.
Okay.
But ebooks it'll be like 26 checkouts and then you essentially have to buy another copy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that as a possible option in the future, but right now they just don't have the,
Yeah, cause I had never heard of it. so I
yeah,
thought-
it's very, I want to say it was only announced about 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's very new and I'm kind of hoping that it's something that they'll expand. I know that our rep for Blackstone is someone that I've worked with for a decade. And he was telling me that so for example, it's been impossible to get James Patterson audiobooks because a new publisher bought the rights to James Patterson and he did not do audiobooks. So they're currently in negotiation to restart audiobooks for James Patterson. So that may be added to their catalog, which would then mean that they would be added to the digital as well. But right now, people come in and go, I want the audio of the latest James Patterson. It does not exist. It's just not an option from anyone. So anyhow, so I'm keeping an eye on it, but right now it's not the best
Yeah.
option.
Emily, can you hear us? If you just acknowledge?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I-
He said something earlier.
Okay, I apologize. I'm getting used to running meetings with members online. That's,
May is also.
Emma, you're also with us?
Well, I'm here, but I cannot hear most of what's being said. I couldn't hear any of what Donna said. And I can hear Drusilla, of course, because she's right there at the machinery. But
Okay.
this is not working well for me.
Okay, so if someone's sitting out in the audience, we probably should give them a microphone. Okay, if they have a comment. All right, thank you for that, Emmy. We'll address that in future meetings to make sure we have a mic available for comments from the public that aren't sitting up here with us. So, but both of you, please
Yeah,
feel free.
but I'm online. I mean, I should be getting everything just as if I were Zoom or GoTo
Yeah,
or
but
whatever it's called.
because there's no microphone out in the audience, and that's where Donna and Beth are sitting, there's no way for that to be picked up. So what we're saying is in future, we'll have to put a
Okay.
microphone out there.
All right,
I
well,
mean,
of course, I couldn't see their location, but,
Okay.
yeah,
MA, I'll assure
Well-
you as chair that that's truly my responsibility as part of running the meeting. So I will make sure there is a microphone available for future meetings for people that want to speak. Okay?
thank you. Yeah,
And equally important, should something come up, for example, right now, we're discussing the director's report. There's no way for me to visually recognize you, like if Sue says whatever. So please feel free to interrupt
I
and
just-
just speak up.
and that's right. That's my normal anyway.
Emily, the same applies for you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I don't want you to feel left out by being online. That's a very important part, and you're still very much valued as being part of this Board of Trustees. So I want to make sure that we do everything to accommodate your attendance
It's not.
in that
loud.
capacity. So I'm willing to listen and learn. So,
Thank you.
okay,
So I can do that.
I have a question
yeah, recognizing Dale.
about the budget.
Can you move the microphone closer to you, Dale? Thank you.
The 11,000, balance, we're over.
Yes. We were over for the last fiscal year. Yes, and as I said in the director's report, that is due to two things. One is extremely high utility costs that went up, the rate increased. Our electricity cost was double what was budgeted.
So have we increased for the budget for this year?
It was increased somewhat, yes. And then the other thing is that the state increased minimum wage in January, so our part-time staff costs went up, which again was not expected. And I did budget for that this year, so hopefully they stick with the amount that they said they were going to go up this year. But we were not expecting it necessarily to increase last year.
Anything else, Dale?
No, that was my question.
Thank you. I have one quick question. In the three people that you have filled for positions, does that include the one where Brenda recently left us?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Great.
because we were already interviewing,
Okay.
or had already scheduled interviews, and so Andy said, just go ahead and hire for all of your vacant positions. So
Okay.
we are, as of Wednesday, the third one starts Wednesday, we will be fully staffed.
Excellent.
So two of them have already started. And I feel a little bad for anyone who starts in summer reading. Poor Elena started today and came in at noon when we opened, to get, and there was this line of people came with her and she just was kind of a little overwhelmed. But so far the two that have started have been great. They've jumped right in. So like I said, we start the third on Wednesday.
Good.
So they shadow someone who's a more senior staff person for a couple of weeks, so they get the idea, and then we put them in a regular slot once they've kind of know what they're doing a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Anything from Emily on the director's report? Any questions on that?
No.
Okay, thank you. MA, anything from you on the director's report?
No.
Okay,
I
thank you for that.
just wish I could get these darn things ahead of time.
Oh, do you
That's
not have
all.
access to email?
I do not.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Do you find your way into the library on a regular basis?
He hasn't come to
Sometimes, but
see
I'm
us in a
hoping that
while.
Okay.
the lady that goes by the farm every day.
Oh, you
might
want me
just
to give
drive-
it to the cows and have them deliver it? Is that
No.
what?
Well, you could do that, or just open my car door and throw it on the seat.
All right, we'll talk after
Okay,
offline on
thank
that
you.
to see if we can figure out something to get you some of these ahead of time. Thank you for that. Okay, then we'll move on at this point to old business. And the first item under that is the vacancy still open for the vice chair. Do we have any of the members currently who are interested in serving in that capacity that aren't already in a position? Emily or MA?
No, thank you.
Okay, Emily?
I have a lot on my plate right now, but if no one else steps up, I would entertain it.
Okay, I'll find out how you and I can talk offline, and I'll give you a little more insight in how I view that position going forward for my tenure at least, and then you can see if you're still interested at that point.
Okay.
That work out okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so I'll follow up. All right, we'll move on to an update on town personnel, the evaluation timeline.
So I spoke to Andy about that. And he said basically that it would be, he would need Kirk, you to reach out to him so that you could, coordinate something.
Okay.
Because there's not a current schedule for, town employee evaluations. So this would kind of be extracurricular, for lack of a better word. So it's not like he can say that, oh yes, evaluations will be done in September or what have you. So
Okay,
if you reach out to him,
is that okay if I mark that as a follow-up item to meet with you and get more information on what is needed, since I've not been through that
Yep.
process before? And then would you put that back on the agenda for next month, please?
Well, if we talk to Donna or Sue Porter, who did it in the past, or Peter Casarella, any of the above can tell you exactly how a form was sent out to all of the trustees. We all responded and returned that to chair or vice chair, whatever. And they then met with Andy. That way we could get it moving a lot faster than waiting until the next meeting.
I'll take that under advisement. Thank you, MA. I'll see what we can do. Anything from you, Emily, on this issue?
Nope.
Okay. Then there are a couple of follow-up items for that, and we'll move on from that to the poet laureate.
yeah, and that was MA. Did you have a chance to talk to Larry?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Larry is very happy and willing to meet with the group. And as we chatted about it, we thought, well, have the meetings at the library as we have in the past, because that seemed to be a good venue. And he's thinking that he would even offer to do it every other week and have various topics. After the first meeting, we could have the starting group come to a consensus as to what they might like to have, be it, just write a poem, read it to everyone, maybe later having it critiqued, instruction, guidance, I should say, on how to write a poem, the various formats for poems. And he's very much into it. So if the group goes ahead with supporting it tonight, then Larry and I can write publicity, come up with a date or dates or whatever, and get it publicized and get it started.
So it sounds like you're talking about like doing a regular program at the library.
Well,
that
if you want to call it a program, I wouldn't call it whatever. Yes. And he said,
Right.
of course, we'd check ahead of time for availability.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that would probably be something that he or you and he should come and talk to me and Claire so we can coordinate a calendar. Because we can't, I don't have the calendar in front of me, so I can't say that, yes, we can do this, starting whatever date. But yeah, I mean, once we find a space for it and a regular time, we can make that happen.
Well, it worked out well in the past. I mean, we simply held it in the reading room, brought in chairs, and, located in the old library. It was a perfect spot for the gathering of everyone. And, well, we sort of have to wait until the first meeting to see what the group would like, and then pretty much take it from there.
What group are you talking about for what the group would like?
What do you mean, what I just said?
Yeah, like who are you talking about? The Board of Trustees? Who are you talking about when you say like what the group would like?
No, not the trustees. The first group that attends a gathering.
So you're talking about like a gathering of people interested in poetry? And then
Absolutely.
then they would
And then
determine
we can,
what they wanted to see.
right. They can come to consensus, and then we can really schedule it further after that.
Okay, it sounds like then either way, you would still, MAU and Larry would want to meet with Drusilla just to set up a time for that initial meeting. And then that way you would be able to publicize it. Just so then that way it doesn't get overshadowed by a lot of the summer reading stuff that's going on right now.
Oh, and also Larry said he would prefer having it an evening time, 6 to 8 or 6 to 7:30 or whatever, somewhere in that, and midweek.
Yeah, so come see me, MA, and we'll figure out what works on the calendar.
Well, I'm just saying those things also so that all of the trustees know what his hope is, that it would be midweek and it would be an evening rather than daytime program. But yes, I mean, he's ready to go.
Oh,
Well,
good.
thank you for your contacting him, and we'll look forward to hearing more about that. And probably also should note that as a meeting item for next month to see if it's.
I mean, it would be on the calendar if we
Okay.
make it. It would be in the upcoming events.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
And it would be in the River East.
Say that again, please.
And it would have publicity in the River East.
Okay. Everybody happy with that at this point?
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you, MA, for that. Let's move on to the next item under old business, and that concerns the Friends of the Library.
So Andy and I think a number of you received an email from Tim Howard, which I printed a copy of for those of you who can't access your email.
Wait, just recently?
Yes.
Wait, when did he send it?
June 30th. This is a new one. So I printed out
Is it
copies for
very
each.
long?
I
Can
printed
you
out
read it
copies.
to us?
It's like 3 pages long, MA.
Well, that
I
answers
can,
that one.
I'll keep a copy for you. If you want to stop by and pick it up. So I'm including a copy of that. And then I also, am including a copy of my response to Andy Tierney so that but the long and the short of it is that they are expanding their FOI request, from what it had been. I'm not entirely sure. It's now requesting records through September 17th of 2025, which is in the future. I was going to say the dates are very confusing, but basically, he is asking for, which is true. He did not receive emails from all of the trustees after their last request. And so he is asking for that, or a notarized statement from each of the other current and former trustees individually indicating that they have each read through the material which Meg had submitted and whether or not they had any additional applicable records for that period. He would.
What is the reason for the extension with all of this?
I don't know for sure.
That's why.
Unfortunately, there was a question raised by, Brenda Kelleher before she left regarding where we got some of the prizes for summer reading. She was told that, we had not used the Friends name or 501c3 number, that we had gone to an entire list. There are a number of organizations that did not give us donations because we did not have a 501c3 number. But she passed her concerns on to the board of the former Friends. And so they have also requested that we want a full accounting of charitable funds raised in our name, which is $0, because we didn't use their 501c3. But I think that has reignited their concerns, shall we
Fire.
say?
Fire.
And they also, so I know that Andy has been at FOIA hearings. It's still, I was going to say they're still going on. So yeah, so anyhow, those of you who are here, this is a copy for you so you can see the email that was sent and then my response. I will have copies in my office for those of you who are not present in person and for those who could not attend this meeting. I'm a little concerned about this request, as I was about the last one, because it wants any correspondence that may mention the library, which is literally every email that I send
Right.
mentions the library. So that's hundreds and thousands of emails. But the email from your Hebron CT email account and like our staff account, Novus would have to extract just because of the sheer volume.
Right.
So that is part of the reason that they're saying they didn't get that email. It's because it was included in the price quote from Novus, which then they did not wish to pay for. So that's part of the whole situation. But I wanted you to be aware. And hopefully my response will answer any questions you have. But if not, by all means, give me a call or stop in so I can clarify. But the short version is that they want more email and that no, we did not use any of their information to solicit donations or raise funds.
Now,
Wasn't-
I thought this topic on the agenda was about the new Friends group. That we
No,
were to look
so
for new people.
no, this is not about that, unfortunately. We are still looking for people to start a new Friends group. If somebody feels so moved, that would be wonderful, but
Can he refer to himself as president of the Friends of Douglas Library of Hebron if that has been disbanded? So like, as far as I'm concerned, like that seems, what's
No,
worrisome to
They're,
me.
they've put the paperwork into disband. It's in the process.
Okay. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
that was set, because I know that was
No,
last fall,
the
so.
pa-
yeah, no,
it
it takes a
Okay.
while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that going to hold up the starting of a new one? They would just have
It
to.
would be a separate
scrape a different name?
organization.
Okay.
Be a separate organization. Yep.
Also, Kirk isn't gonna have any emails because he was not.
Because he wasn't here.
Trustees
Exactly.
for those
Yep.
dates.
But anyhow, this is what it is. This is the email that we got. So
So for right now, for everyone here, is there any immediate action that you need us to do right now, or just kind of like pattern until after the FOI meeting? And
if
I mean, if this is a legal document with incorrect dates, that's something we shouldn't follow anyway, because it's.
I
not-
would say right now, my personal feeling, and Donna might have more insight into this, but my feeling is to be aware of this.
Okay,
and to be aware that it is an issue, but you know, the request for anything that mentions the library that goes into the future, you know, the dates are, that needs to be clarified before anybody can take an
Mhm.
actual action. And any email that may mention the library, you know, that's an impossible amount of email, at least for me and for the library staff. So just to be aware of it, to be advised that this is, and hopefully we'll have some clarification about what the next steps should be and what actions board members might need to take.
Aren't all of our meeting packets available online?
Yes,
So
and I
can
had
we
actually
amplify
said
because
that,
he can get them himself.
all of the meeting packets and the text of my director's report is always in the minutes. So that is all freely available
Perfect.
online. The, you know, the head of circulation, the children's librarian and I are covered under, the, you know, the rest of the town emails that's, you know, so, but as I said, I wanted you all to be aware that this is flared up again
Thank you.
and to have my response, which hopefully will answer any questions you might have. And I will keep you all posted.
If I can
Thank you.
sort of try to help summarize this a little. There is no action required on the part of any of the members of the Board of Trustees of the Douglas Library at this time.
This time,
Okay.
right?
Is there any possibility that the action that our town manager is attending to will end up in resulting in this somehow being resolved a different way than all the emails that he's asking for or anything?
We don't really know. The hearing that he's going to this week is still on the first request. Anything to do with, I think the outcome vision on that
May affect this, yeah.
Okay. So to be.
Yeah, and as I said, for those of you who are not in person, I have copies of all of this and you can, you know, next time you're in the building, just stick your head in my office and I will have them set aside for board members.
Emily, anything to add or any questions on your behalf?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, MA, anything you'd like to ask or?
No, I just would like us to be able to move forward,
We all
not
agree.
backwards.
That's a unanimous agreement, I'm sure. Okay, so I guess this is still old business. I am going to take and step away from the latter part of it and go back to the Friends of the Library. I still feel that we've got to do something more than hope that somebody comes forward to start a new group. I mean, I'm talking to people. Is this at a point where unless somebody comes and volunteers, then it goes nowhere? And
Yep.
do we need to advertise that we're looking for this?
We
position?
can't.
We can't, okay.
No, it needs to, the library cannot, because legally speaking, the Friends of the Library is a fundraising and lobbying group. So therefore the library, which means the board, cannot form a group to lobby and fundraise for itself.
So all we need is to find about 3 good people who
3
would
or
be
4
willing
people,
to become the officers of the new group, and
Mhm.
they then can start applying for the new 501c3.
And the Friends of Connecticut Libraries are on standby to help. I mean, they will walk someone through, you know, what the process is and what best practices are. You know, they are ready and willing to help, but we've got to get that group of people to get it started.
So oftentimes, especially when it gets around election time, there are current elected officials or officials that step away from their role in that capacity, write a letter to the River East, and then say what they want to say, and the disclaimer is it's their opinion,
Mhm.
not. Does that apply here?
A board member could do
If a
that.
board
Yes.
member were to write a
You,
letter.
if you said that this is not
Just
in my role as a board member, this is in my
Writing
role
as an individual.
you know, that
That's a good.
we are
that's a
looking
good point.
for,
Okay.
yes. So that is an option.
Okay,
but-
then that's another follow-up item I'd like to
But like,
Uh,
I
work with-
can't say, hey, we're gonna have this meeting at the library and we're setting aside the boardroom. It would have to be an outside group coming in and saying, hi, we'd like to use a space
Okay.
to have a meeting. And
Right.
it happens to be about this. Yeah.
This, I'll ask the board, and this doesn't have to be in motion, but if anybody is interested in being part of, what I'd like to do is before I would write a letter like that, I'd like to at least offer an opportunity to come together and talk about, what would we want to say? And is there any other input that any of you would have to go into that it would be under my letter, but at least include if I've missed something or need to add something. So, does anybody else interested? What I'm going to do in follow-up is make arrangements when I meet with Drusilla to talk about up the other things that I have on my list. We'll probably add this. Would you at least reach out to me? If not now, do it by email or phone and express that interest, and I'll try to include you or get your comments in advance of that meeting.
I'll touch base.
The Friends group is totally separate from the trustees, isn't it?
Yes.
He's not doing it. He's gonna write a letter as an individual.
Yeah, it needs.
To say that it would be nice to see this group formed.
Right, it will be a generic letter asking if we could get some help, not that I'm asking for that help, but just that the idea would be. And that's why I want to talk about how that letter would be constructed, make sure we're all in agreement with how it will be put together. Okay? Any other comment on that? Emily?
I just have a question. So kind of like related to that, are we allowed to be part of that group as members of the trustees?
Why not? We had lots
Best
of members
practices,
before.
best practices say that you can be a member, but you cannot be an officer.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of what I figured.
So it's like library staff can be members, but we shouldn't be officers.
Right.
Makes
So we
sense.
just need the people to come forward as officers first, create it, get it all set.
And then,
And then
yeah,
we're
get the
free to
ball
go.
rolling,
Yes.
basically. Yep.
All right, that makes sense.
Any other comments on that? Okay, then we'll move on to new business. And we have some policy changes.
Yeah, so we just got a couple of emails in the past couple weeks and I'm still reading through them to figure out what exactly. So the short version is that the state library, because of some legislation that was passed and some other issues, the state library is, if you remember last year, we had to pass a collection development policy and reconsideration. They have now added some other policies that need to meet certain standards. I think there are 4 altogether. The wording is a little unclear in the latest email I got. So there are some information sessions happening in the next month. But I wanted you all to be aware that there are some new requirements for policies. And so we'll have to go through the same process that we did
Gotcha.
for the collection development and material reconsideration, which is I will have to draft a policy in accordance with what the state thinks it should be, and then get that, the board will look at that, and then I will pass it on to, the board will not approve it at that point. It is just, this is what the draft I'm passing on. This is what what we've been told we should do. It will have to go to the state library for approval, the draft, and then it will come back to me, at which point I will pass it on to the board for approval. And then I tell the
God.
state library board that it was approved on X date. So it's the same back and forth that we
Gotcha.
did with the last one, but just so you know that this is coming down the pike, I believe the deadline is again November 1st, so it's fairly tight, but I'm hoping, as I said, I'll be attending an information session. I believe it's the beginning of August.
Question, is this getting because of things from the federal government getting rid of DEI?
No,
Okay.
this is, one of them is display policy, like for outside groups displaying. One of them has to do with meeting room use. So obviously we're okay on the the collection development because we just did that one. So we know we meet their standards. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't gone through to see if there are any changes from what we did last year. But I think we're okay on that front. But I'm still, I mean, it's the documentation is pages and pages long. So I did a first pass through it yesterday, and now I need to go through and then go to the information session and then, yeah. So just so you know that this is coming down the pike. Again, if we don't have policies that are approved, it affects our ability to get funding from the state, which yes, our funding that we get, the 2 checks we get every year are not a lot of money, but it's still money. And it would also conceivably affect our ability to go for grant funding from the state because you have to meet all their requirements. So,
So they want to dictate more and more how. They-
yeah, they are looking more for, and part of it is, I know that they want to be sure, as with the collection development policy, they want to be sure that every library has something in place so that if there is a challenge to materials or there is a move, as has happened in some Connecticut towns, there's a move on the part of the town to restrict materials, that libraries have some defense against that.
Right.
So, I mean, that's where it's kind of coming from, but they just kind of threw this.
Yeah, yeah.
But so hopefully by our next meeting, I will have more details. If I'm really, really on top of things, I might even have at least one draft policy for you to look at. But I'm not promising that. And then I will know for sure, like what the timeline, like what the deadlines are. So just so you all know that that is. And every director in the state is going, wait, what?
Right.
So should we add that as an item for the next month?
Yes, so I will
Progress
put
report.
that, yes, I will put that under old business, but just so you know that you'll be seeing that
Yeah.
popping up until we
Okay,
eventually get notification that the state library board has approved the policies that you have already approved, that the state approved before that, anyway.
okay. All right. Any questions or comments from you, Emily? No.
Nope.
MA?
No, I'd scribble them out.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to item 7, which is other business.
Okay,
Yeah.
I would like to make a suggestion. In the,
Under new business?
this is under
Okay,
new
yeah,
business.
Yeah, Chair recognizes Dale.
We
Lean to
talked,
the mic.
okay, we talked last month about Gail Richmond being a member of the board that has not been available for meetings. And Gail has been a very strong supporter of the Douglas Library and a very powerful member of the Board of Trustees in the State Library Association. I would recommend that we make Gail an honorary or a member of the Board of Trustees, and then be able to appoint another member to fulfill her place.
Excellent. That would have to be approved by the Board of Selectmen.
I was gonna say, that was why I went on a hunt for the bylaws to try and see if there was anything about that. And when I couldn't find anything, and I went through all of the paperwork of the, I forget, Drusilla, what you said, it's called essentially like the bylaws from the state
Mhm.
organization for Board of Trustees. And I couldn't find anything that like specifically dealt with this situation, but I think that's a great idea. Then that way she's involved, she can still come to meetings. It would just allow us, as you said, to be able to fill an additional position.
Right.
So my guess would be that the board would have to send a letter to the selectmen requesting that.
We'd have to put something in place that'd be added probably to our membership. Be it a one-time shot or, multiple times. But I would think it would have to be done formally.
Have to look at the ordinance and see,
it's pretty.
yeah, but like if we make one honorary, does that, yeah. Yeah, that's
Well,
like,
that's why I feel that it had to be brought up in new business, and then we can pursue it.
Yeah,
The term, or would it be Or live.
Or live.
Yeah, and would not be a voting position. And that's
An
an
honor.
issue, honor, yeah.
My question is, where do we go with Wes? Is that a, Board of Selectmen discussion item? Or Andy discussion item, or I'm not quite sure where. Hmm, okay, but that starts with the Board of Selectmen?
It would be a request from the library board to the Board of Select,
Okay.
Yeah.
to do it. Just trying to
Yeah.
process, there's other way to do it, and it's, you know, takes care of that. Isn't as formal, where, you know, where an ordinance amendment might not be necessary. It's, you know, something that the
Mhm.
Beth, do you have something to add on?
I work in the higher ed setting, so we often have a maritime faculty, and that lets you be retired, but keeps your.
Yeah, like I said, the wording of or just Donna said, the wording of the ordinance is very specific. So I think the first step is to review that language, make sure of exactly what it says.
That's the state ordinance, correct?
No, the town or
Oh, that's
the town ordinance that sets up the library and the board.
Okay.
That's where, you know, it outlines that, you know, it needs minority representation, it needs representation. Association has 5 members from the association and 4 at large. And I'm just wondering if there's a way not to have to run it that ordinance. Very life member of the board.
That's what I was looking for, you know,
recognized by-
just a recognition.
Yeah, I
of-
think I want to look at because I think first step is to review the,
Right.
yeah.
Would any of this hinge on needing Gail to officially resign as a voting member from the Board of Selectmen? I mean, from the Board of Trustees? Because that's where we are right now. We can't move forward with anything
Mhm.
and fill that position.
Does the ordinance say anything about removal for missing a certain number of meetings?
Yep.
I
That's what
can't
was trying to
remember.
find.
Yeah.
Well, I
the
think
idea
there is
to knock
something
it down
in the-
now. We don't want it to be punitive.
In
We want to have the two things happen at the same time.
Right,
Her
right.
resignation and
Right.
replacement with honorary.
So it looks like we need to look
Well,
at the town
okay.
charter.
My
and look at the
question is, has
ordinance.
anybody discussed this? I've not had any communication with Ms. Richmond, so I have no idea what her position is and why she's not attending the meetings.
So she's not attending due to health reasons.
Okay, so if that's the case, does she realize that we do need to have somebody in that? I mean, if she can't attend even by Zoom or whatever, the online meeting, then I think we need to have a chat.
I have not heard from her since last summer. I believe it was the end of last summer.
Dale, you brought this up. Do you know her?
Yeah, I do know her, but I mean, she has not attended. I mean, has many health issues.
Okay. Would it be appropriate for you and I to meet with her? We can set that up?
Sure.
Okay, why don't we try that first? I mean, I would love to make this very simple. I would love to just give her a plaque or whatever we can do with it and say that she's an emeritus member of the
Right.
Board of Trustees. It doesn't have to be legal that way. It's just, it should be, you know,
Mhm.
recognized for her service and try and make it more of an honorary recognition of the what she's done for the town and for us. And then, at the same time, explain to her why we'd like her to, formally submit her resignation so that we can move on. That sound reasonable? Anybody disagree? MA,
You look like you're
I
having a problem
think
with
it
it.
would be nice. I think it would be nice to work it a little more formally, that it's not just something that's give her a plaque and say, hey, we appreciate. I think it would be nice to make it more formal so that Gail would feel that when and if she was able, she could still be a non-voting but participating member.
Okay, we can discuss that further. Emily?
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of doing something to recognize her, within kind of the parameters of what works with the ordinance. Like, I don't know that it would be allowed for her to be like involved without being involved in an official capacity, but if that is an option, then I guess that would be nice. But if not, I think a plaque or some sort of formal recognition would be nice.
I can express that I certainly would be one of my goals in meeting with her, with Dale, that we get an impression from her on whether that's what she'd like to do. If she gets better, would she still like to come back to the board? If she doesn't, and that's only something we can hear from her, then I think the rest of it becomes a little easier. We can,
The last time anyone spoke, she was hoping to have some surgery and for her health to improve so that she could have become the chair, because she was working with, oh, what's her name? Who was the previous chair?
Yeah,
Pat.
yeah.
Yeah, Pat Ayers, yeah. And so they were working together with the hope that Gail could take over. So, I mean, her heart is absolutely still in the right place.
Yeah, but I know that even Pat did not hear from her for several months.
Right.
So,
well, let's see what happens. Let's try, and we can put this back for a follow-up for the next
Right.
meeting. Let's try to reach out to her and have a meeting and in whatever way we can make that happen and see where she stands. And that'll give us more information to work on for the next step. Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Other business. Does anybody have other business they'd like to address? Emily?
I don't know that this is business, but I did have a question. I know at the end of our meeting, we always talk about or bring up questions about each of the individual committees, and it seems like the past few meetings there hasn't been much to say, and I suspect that it probably has a lot to do with the fact that there's just been a lot of change, like within like the personnel of the library and our board. So maybe not everybody has been assigned a committee or knows what committee they're on. So I don't know if maybe this would be a good time to like discuss who's a part of what committee so we can start kind of reconvening.
I can send that list
Didn't
out.
we do that at the last
Yeah,
meeting?
the last meeting,
Oh,
we
okay.
discussed that.
I wasn't at the
Um,
last meeting, so.
And so I can send the list out. But I do know that like, since I've been here, those committees have not actually like formally met. It's more, well, of course, they're really only, 2 people, most of them. But yeah, I can send that list out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that comment, Emily. MA, anything to add under other business?
No,
Okay, thank you. Anybody here sitting at the table, anything to add for other business? Okay, I do have one item I want to bring up. And it's a continuation of our discussion on this class that I'd like to see happen between, well, and we need to come up with a framework or an outline of how it's going to come together. I think what we either have to focus, and I'd like to keep it simple maybe to begin with. Maybe we start with just seniors and work an arrangement between the seniors and the library and possibly the high school to have one-on-one tutoring available.
Yep, so that's
It's
already
already
on the
started.
agenda. Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
We do one-on-one tutor, one-on-one tech help all the time.
And
But
it was in the River East.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, so it has.
It started, yes.
yes,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yes, we
Okay, so
publicized it.
how are you getting the seniors here? They make it on their own way?
Yep, basically, or
Okay.
take the,
Great.
Colebrook, the Colebrook bus comes over once a week anyway.
Okay.
And the
Um,
senior
yeah.
center has a bus people can coordinate with
Yeah.
to just
Okay.
come up to the library also.
Should we pull that out of the weekly River East and do some kind of an article that maybe focuses?
So my plan is, again, once school starts back up in the fall, because right now we don't have teens. We
Okay.
don't have teens to
Okay.
do the one-on-one. So once we start up in the fall again, or, once school starts up, we'll do working with the schools to look for teens who'd be interested in volunteering. We'll publicize the fact that we're looking for volunteers, and then as part of that can also publicize that it's something that we've offered and will continue to offer.
Okay.
But right now,
And there will be National Honor Society kids who will be looking for community
Yeah.
service hours and everything.
So
So
we always-
yeah, I think in September.
we always have volunteers,
Okay.
but yes, so that's coming in the fall. It's just
Okay.
hasn't. But
I just, there's such a world of great things out there that, I don't think people just don't, even though we do what we can, put things out. If we can highlight something like this, I think it'll be
yeah, but so we've been publicizing it, at your request, it's been publicized. It was
Okay.
in our latest newsletter.
I think it's on the Facebook page
It's
also.
on our Facebook
Yeah.
page. We've done, yep. So, but like I said, we can't move forward with until the teens are back.
okay.
Right now, we have no
That's-
teenagers.
How is it?
Thank you.
How is the jobs program working?
So they have not had their first meeting yet.
Oh, okay.
Their first meeting is Thursday they're coming. But they are also at, the same gentleman actually is in, the Marlborough Library and also the Glastonbury Library and has already started there. And I understand that, so it's basically, people drop in if they have questions or if they need help with something, but I understand that they've had a few people come in. And it's really nice to have that, it's a program that they have an office in Hartford, but it's nice that we're making that available here
And
as well.
How are we doing getting books to seniors or people who can't get to the library?
We currently have 3 or 4 that get delivery, and we have a volunteer who does that.
Okay.
Yep. Most people send a family member in or a friend, we have at least one who comes in and says, oh, I'm getting these for so-and-so and these for me. And we have a note on the account that says that, the spouse is allowed to check things out on their card or what have you. So, but yeah,
Great.
we have a volunteer who drops things off. And then actually we have one staff member who happens to live just down the street from someone. So on the way home from her shift, she'll
Nice.
drop stuff off or
Mhm.
pick stuff up, but
Well, great. That's very encouraging. Thank you for that. Then we'll, if nothing else under other business, we'll move on to reports from the strategic plan committees. Anything from the oversight committee? Hearing none, I'll ask from the welcoming committee.
Well, I just always say that the board coming in with all the things that are going on is just very, very welcoming and just encouraging people to see what is happening at the library.
Sarah, so one of our staff members, Sarah, does that board, and she's very annoyed lately because there's more stuff going on than will fit on the board.
But I think that, but
We need a digital sign that rotates. But yeah, she the last couple weeks, she's been like, really?
Or get a second board and put it.
But yes, I will let her know. That's one particular staff member that has taken that on. So she comes when she.
and
comes every
that's a really welcoming,
week. Mhm.
and the staff is very welcoming.
Well, on behalf of the board, please thank her for her
I will.
effort with that. Anything from the integral committee?
Nothing specific, just, there's been announcements that, the library has put out on Facebook in the River East. So I feel like the information I frequently see posts on Facebook for the kids events and everything like that. So getting the info there, for the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm still annoyed that my contact at the Chronicle asked me all kinds of questions about the job center collaboration and then didn't do an article.
Hopefully, I do sometimes wonder if the Chronicle also waits for, like,
Until they have space or something, yeah.
Like the school year kind of thing,
Um,
like I do feel like
but-
sometimes things are a little bit lighter in the summer.
We expected to see something because she had asked me a number of questions then. Like, it's not there.
Okay, anything from the Safe Committee?
Well, the alarm system apparently is working.
The alarm system is working. Lost its mind briefly, we're fine.
Okay,
I think due to a power outage, it just. It's really great when the alarm company comes over and looks at it and goes, well. It's not, we fixed it. I don't know why it was doing that. I was gonna say, so it's all the older, so like the tech that comes in, he tells me every time. He's like, they don't make this panel anymore. Now it's all cell-based and everything and. Yeah, so I'm sure that's part of it is that it's just older, but he comes in, he looks at it, he goes, well, we fixed it, but I don't know why it was. Whatever.
Well, at least it knows
It's all
how-
better.
at
It's all
least
better
he
now.
knows How to work on it.
And at least the building was not actually on fire, so. It's great.
all right, and the last strategic plan committee evolving, anything to report?
And-
At this point, I have nothing to report. My plate's getting fuller and fuller.
you're
The
good.
list is getting longer and longer.
You're good.
Okay, that's fine. That's the way it should be. All right,
I
first
make
of
a-
all, I'd like to just thank the board. This is one of, in my short tenure serving as chair, this is one of the best attendance that we've had. I think we're only missing Gail and Peter. So that's a really nice situation. Not sitting here waiting for whether or not people are going to come. And please, if you would, when Drusilla sends out the request on whether you're coming to the meeting or not, please do the best you can about getting back to her, because that really does put us in a situation to make a better decision on meeting or waiting if we need to meet for someone who may have a slight delay or whatever. But it's important that you don't just not get back to her at all, because then we don't know what's going on. So thank you in advance for doing that. And with that,
But if I don't get the warning or any of that, then I can't reply. Just
Well, we
to be
meet
more
on the
difficult.
same Monday every month.
And just,
MA,
Just let her
maybe
know.
can I ask, how are you communicating? Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
calls it.
Do you receive texts? Or
Do
read
I
them?
what?
Receive or read text messages?
I can receive messages, but not if they're going through HebronCT.gov.
Yeah, that's the issue is that everything needs to be sent. through
Okay,
official-
then might I suggest to you that the week leading up to our meeting, that you reach out to either Drusilla or myself, and we'll find some way of getting you whatever you need to be prepared for the meeting, and whatever you need from a communication standpoint in advance. So, because I want to make sure that you have everything that you need. You're a valued member of this board. I don't want you to feel left out because of the communication thing. We can work that out, but let's try to do it the week before the meeting. Okay? That work for you?
Well, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's not the reminder, though. I need a reminder coming from the other direction.
Okay, we'll work that out. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
8:10. The motion was made by Dale and seconded by Meg. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
If you read the
Aye.
minutes, I always make the motion.
Any nays? All right, again, thank you all for being in attendance tonight. It was a productive meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me a laundry list of things to work